Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, Ole Gunnar Solsjaer decides to loan out Dean Henderson again for next season, and he wants David De Gea to remain our number one goalkeeper for next season. So, looking likely he has made his goalkeeping decision. But Solskjaer, wants to give David De Gea at least another season as number one, to see how he does. Now, obviously, David De Gea has been our number one goalkeeper for several years. Obviously, he's endured 9 seasons at Manchester United, and he's approaching his 10th season at the football club. De Gea has made 405 appearances for Man United in all competitions, and 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. Obviously, David De Gea has been a liability in the last couple of years, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he has made. But he's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Manchester United, so I'm very sceptical that we'll sell him in this summer transfer window. But I said, didn't I, if we was going to sell him, we'd probably get around £60 million for him. We paid just over £18 million for him from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. But I said, didn't I, when De Gea does eventually leave Manchester United, he will go back to Spain. Because don't forget, back in 2015, he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. And last September, David De Gea signed a 4-year deal with the football club worth $375,000 a week. So he's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and he's the highest paid at the football club. But Solskjaer was talking about De Gea a few weeks before the season finished. And he said, he has been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. Because David De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club. And he has won individual awards, reflecting on his good run of performances. But, Dean Henderson will obviously leave Manchester United now anyway, because obviously he's not going to be assured number one for next season. Personally speaking, though, I think Solskjaer should have decided to put Dean Henderson as number one for next season, because I personally believe that Dean Henderson now would be reliable to become our number one. He has got that experience behind him. Dean Henderson has endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and he has been Sheffield United's player of the season. Obviously, won't be going back to Sheffield United. Main explanation is because Sheffield United have agreed to get Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth for around £18.5 million. But Dean Henderson has had quite a few loan spells, with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. We got Dean Henderson back in 2011 from Carlisle. Obviously, we got him at the age of 14. And Dean Henderson's current contract at Man United expires in 2022. We are actually still in talks over getting Dean Henderson a new contract at the football club. I still believe that Chelsea are interested in him, because Chelsea are looking for a replacement for Kepa Arrizabalaga. But and Sergio Romero, he will remain our backup goalkeeper for next season. Obviously, Sergio Romero has played all our League Cup games this season. He's played all our FA Cup games prior to the semi-final, and he's also played, I think, all our Europa League games apart from the semi-final. Sergio Romero has endured 5 years with Man United. Obviously, we got him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. Obviously, Romero's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. So that is the breaking news on that. Now, I just want to give you a review on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so far as Manchester United manager. Now, I think, Solskjaer's done pretty good in his first full season at the football club. Obviously, got us qualification for the Champions League. And I did say, didn't I, how important Champions League qualification was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. We also finished 3rd, which I thought was a fantastic achievement. And we also progressed to 3 semi-finals. Obviously, we got to the EFL Cup semi-final, we got to the FA Cup semi-final, and we got to the Europa League semi-final. But Solsjaer obviously, was saying that semi-finals are not good enough. And I'm disappointed, disappointed that we're no longer in the Europa League, because I give you the main explanations why I wanted Manchester United to win the Europa League is because obviously it had been our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. It'd have also ended our trophy drought because we haven't won a trophy now for over 3 years. That's the first time this has happened since the late 1980s, so that's a good 31 years ago now. And it would have been our second Europa League because we won it back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era. We beat Ajax in the final by 2-0. But I always said, didn't I, that Sevilla was going to be a very, very difficult game. Sevilla, very, very good team, well organised, unbeaten now in their last 20 games, haven't lost since early February. They are the record holders of the Europa League because they have won 5 of Sevilla. But, Solskjaer did go with a strong team in the semi-final because obviously he wasn't going to take any risks. But I just thought it was unlucky, to be honest with you. But he's exceeded most expectations of Solskjaer this season. That's the most important thing. Obviously, earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And at that point, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. Obviously, at that point, there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in, and there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in to replace Solskjaer. But I give you the main explanations, why he didn't get sacked, because obviously since Bruno Fernandes has come in, he's made a difference in the team. I think Bruno Fernandes has got 12 or 13 goals for Man United in all competitions since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon. Don't forget Bruno Fernandes has won Player of the Month, Premier League Player of the Month 3 times since he came in. And I think he scored all our penalties so far. I think with how good we've done against the top 6 sides this season, that's another one of the main explanations why I didn't get sacked. Because obviously this season we beaten Man City 3 times out of the 4 times we played them. Solskjaer became the first manager in history to beat Pep Guardiola 3 times. Beaten Chelsea, didn't we 3 times this season. Obviously drew with Liverpool. Solskjaer's beaten Tottenham twice as a manager. Also beaten Leicester twice this season. So, in the vast majority of the big games, Solskjaer's approach to them games have been very, very good. And I think, with Solskjaer being a club legend, that could have also played a part in it as well. But we have seen an upturn in form since January because, we haven't lost in the league since January. We are unbeaten in our last 14 Premier League games. Don't forget as well, went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until obviously Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. But overall, I think Solskjaer's done a pretty good job. Obviously, he did very, very well though when he first came into the club, don't forget. Obviously, he came in at the first as the interim manager. Solskjaer enjoyed 3 months as interim manager of Manchester United. Obviously, he did come in and he won his first 8 games. Obviously, I think we won 8 or 9 away games on the trot. And we won a total of 14 out of 19 games in all competitions. And obviously, reflects on that. That was enough to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis. And obviously, when we did give him the job on a permanent basis, he signed a 3-year contract with the football club. And as it stands now, he's got just under 2 years left on his contract because Solskjaer's now been at Manchester United over a year and a half. But like I've said, I have seen improvements under Solskjaer, really, really have. Like I said, our recruitment's really, really improved under him because we have been criticised for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've been criticised for overpaying for players. So far at the football club, Solskjaer has spent just over £200 million. And he's made around 4 permanent signings at the moment. He bought, last summer, he brought James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. January, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and he brought Odin Igalo in on loan. And we've signed a few academy players as well. The most recent academy player we've just signed is Filip Stevanovic from Partizan Belgrade. Obviously, we've got him for around €12 million. He is going to remain at Partizan Belgrade on loan for next season, but then he will be officially joining Manchester United in the summer of 2021. Definitely, Solskjaer's promoted the youth well throughout the course of the season. I definitely believe that there's players that have definitely improved under Solskjaer, especially the top players, because our top players did enjoy a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. Like I mentioned, I think Anthony Martial has had a very, very good season for us. This is Martial's enjoyed 5 years with Manchester United. He has been playing in that central role throughout the course of this season. So he has been playing in number 9. I think Rashford's done okay, but hasn't been at his best. But there again, he had that back injury earlier on in the season. He was out for a couple of months. Mason Greenwood, he's enjoyed a very, very good season. Bruno Fernandes has done well for us. Pogba, he did well towards the end of the Premier League season. Don't forget, Paul Pogba was out for the vast majority of the season with that ankle injury. Obviously, we're looking to get Paul Pogba a new contract at the football club to end the uncertainty over his future, because he has had a long-running transfer saga. At one point, it was looking very imminent he was going to be leaving Manchester United. He did say a few weeks before the season finished that Pogba was close to signing a 5-year deal with Man United, and obviously Fabrizio Romano came out, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, and he's close to Man United. He said that, Pogba wants to stay at the club, and he said he's happy. Pogba, as it stands at the moment, has just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. But he has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Most recently, Pogba celebrated his 4-year anniversary at the football club. I definitely think as well, Fred's improved under Solskjaer, because Fred has definitely been given his opportunities under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Fred has confounded his critics wrong, because under the Jose Mourinho era, Fred did receive a hell of a lot of criticism. But there again, Fred never really got his opportunities under the Jose Mourinho era. But, he's looked very mobile. He's kept the ball very, very well. What a player. But McTominay, he's done well under Solskjaer. Obviously, he had that ankle injury, don't forget, earlier on in the season. Just after lockdown, McTominay signed a new contract with the club. He signed, was it a 5-year deal? So he's under contract with us till 2025. But I think McTominay is the foreseeable future for Man United, definitely. I think Matic, he's a lot of aspects of his game have improved. He did well towards the end of the Premier League season, because towards the end of the Premier League season, Matic was getting starts. He was getting there ahead of the likes of Fred and McTominay. Got to say as well, I think Luke Shaw's enjoyed a very, very good season for Man United. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. But prior to that, very good left back. I do believe that Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back for next season, because obviously Luke Shaw's more experienced than Brandon Williams. But Brandon Williams is still a very good left back, and when he does get a bit more experience behind him, I do expect him, to become our first choice at left back. Williams, not too long ago, signed a 4-year deal with the football club with an option of a further year. So Williams is under contract with us until 2024. Bissaka's done well for the vast majority of this season, but towards the end of the Premier League season, did look a bit fatigued, looked a bit off the pace. We need to see more attacking intent from Wan-Bissaka. That's the thing that's letting him down, but his defensive contribution and his decision making usually is very, very good on that right hand side. But don't get me wrong, there's still players that I've got to improve at Manchester United, because there has been players that have been underperforming. Harry Maguire, he's had bad games this season, but on the other hand, he's had some good games. I think Solskjaer's got to take the captaincy off him, and I think we need to give the captaincy maybe to either Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, because Harry Maguire, doesn't show any leadership in the team, and that is the disappointing thing. Obviously, we got Harry Maguire from Leicester last summer in a deal worth £80 million, so he's the second most expensive signing at the club and the most expensive centre-half in the world. Possibility chance we could sell him, but I can't see it happening in this summer transfer window. Victor Lindelof, there's still aspects of his game that I've got to improve as well. Because I think recently, Victor Lindelof's looked far too exposed at the back. He's made too many individual errors. But he's still a good centre-half. Victor Lindelof has endured 3 years with Manchester United. We did get him from Benfica back in 2017 for obviously, £30 million. Eric Bailly, to be honest with you, I haven't really had a perception on him throughout the course of the season because he has been injured. Obviously, in this last summer, in pre-season, Bailly sustained a bad knee injury. Then obviously was out until February. Then obviously came back, put some good performances out, and then Eric Bailly did sustain a concussion in our 3-1 loss to Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. So yeah, Daniel James, I think for the vast majority of the season he did very, very well. Personally speaking, I think Solsjaer did overplay Daniel James. I think he played a good 30-odd games for us this season in all competitions. Daniel James can play on the left, he can play on the right, but when we've played in this season, we have put him on that right, even though he's more effective from the left. But towards the end of the Premier League season, he was not getting starts. We did get Daniel James from Swansea last summer for £15 million. So yeah, he was a cheap solution. Odion Ighalo, I think he's done very, very well since he's coming on loan. We got him on January deadline day. Obviously was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup this season. Was it just before the resumption of the season? We extended Odion Ighalo's loan until January 2021. Solskjaer did say back in February, we could decide to get Odion Ighalo permanently. Shanghai Shenhua said they wanted around £20 million, but to be honest with you, I can't see us getting Ighalo permanently. We basically brought him in on deadline day, as a cover-up to Marcus Rashford. But yeah. Like I said, there's other things that have got to improve. I think Solskjaer's decision-making has also got to improve at Manchester United because in a lot of games this season he has been very tactically naive. But there again, in some games, he showed a lot of tactical flexibility. So there's definitely still improvements needed at Man United. These still areas where Manchester United are lacking. I personally think, we need to get a right winger in this summer transfer window. We also need to recommend a holding midfielder in. And we're also looking to get a centre-half in, despite the fact that we have got 7 centre-halves in the team. Some Manchester United fans still believe that we do need a striker, despite the fact that we have got Anthony Martial as our number 9. But Solskjaer, Solskjaer is facing a transfer headache, isn't he? We don't even know what players we're going to sign in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer might not even get the players that he wants in this summer transfer window. But anyway, like I just said, I'll give you my review on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so far as Manchester United manager. But Solskjaer, anyway, revert back to what I said. He said he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. Obviously, at the end of the Premier League season, he outlined his transfer plans and he instructed our board to go and get his preferred targets. Now, Solskjaer did say after our 2-1 defeat to Sevilla, that he said he's demanding more signings at the club. He can't guarantee that we'll make any signings before the start of the new Premier League season. He was also talking about the young players, saying that they've got plenty to learn about seeing out games and achieving consistency. But like I've said, we have got a lot of young players coming through. But Solskjaer instructed the board to spend big in this summer transfer window. I think it did say at the end of the Premier League season that our transfer budget is around £140 million. Now, the players that are on our agenda, obviously, Jadon Sancho, he's on our agenda and he's been on our agenda for a long time. Jadon Sancho is our number 1 priority target and he has been our number 1 priority target for a while. Lucien Favre, the Borussia Dortmund boss, he's come out and reiterated his wishes of Jadon Sancho remaining at Dortmund for next season. Personally speaking, I think Sancho to Man United now is not going to happen in this summer transfer window, because you have Borussia Dortmund CEO recently saying he'll stay at Dortmund, and Michael Zorg, their sporting director, the other week said that Sancho will stay at Dortmund and the decision is final. Dortmund basically want over 100 million. Their valuation is £108 million, and I think they're looking for like £90 million up front. But we're not determined to meet what they're demanding. Obviously, now we are looking at alternatives to Sancho. There's been obviously stories coming out about Douglas Costa from Juventus. Damasio was talking about this, and he said Man United are interested, and we have been in negotiations with his agent. Douglas Costa is a much cheaper solution than Sancho. We've been looking at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. We've been looking at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. We've looked at Federico Chiesa from Fiorentina. We've looked at Thiago Almeida. We've looked at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich as another alternative. But these cheaper solutions than Sancho. We've obviously still got Jack Grealish on our agenda. Donny van de Beek. Like I said to you on my recent video, looks like we're going to miss out on him. Because Barcelona want to get Donny van de Beek in, and I think Barcelona are set to appoint Ronald Koeman as their new manager. Obviously, Gabriel Magalhaes, I think he's now going to be going to Arsenal. He's made a decision on his future. I knew we wouldn't get Gabriel Magalhaes anyway. Kalidou Koulibaly, he's still been on our agenda. But we've got to make signings in this summer transfer window, because, like I've said, there is teams around us that are doing good recruitment. I think recently Tottenham have just signed a player, can't remember who it was. Liverpool, they signed Tchouaméni from Olympiacos for £13 million recently. I think they're on the verge of getting Thiago from Bayern Munich. They have been in for Thiago for quite some time. Chelsea, they've done very, very good business. Chelsea obviously got Hakim Ziyech back in February for around 37 or 38 million. They got Werner from RB Leipzig. I think they've also got Ben Chilwell. I don't know if it's official, but I heard last time they were close to getting Chilwell. They're still looking to get Kai Havertz at Chelsea. Arsenal, they've just recently got Willian on the free, and they're closing in now on Gabriel Magalhaes. That'll be a good signing for Arsenal, by the way, because they are in search for a centre-half. Manchester City, they've signed a few players. They got Nathan Ake from Bournemouth and Ferran Torres from Valencia. So yeah, signings have already been done, and I think the summer transfer window has now been open for quite a few weeks. So there you go. But we're not only going to focus on the incomings in this summer transfer window, we're also going to focus on the outgoings as well, because obviously we're going to get rid of players in this summer transfer window, and obviously when we do, our transfer budget will increase. We're going to get rid of a good 6 or 7 players in this summer transfer window. We're looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We're looking to get rid of Andres Pereira. I think it's very imminent now that Andres Pereira is going to be leaving anyway. Chris Smalling, we're looking to get rid of him. I gave you the news on him earlier. Looking to get rid of Rojo. I think we also need to get rid of Phil Jones. We also need to get rid of Diego Dalot. Maybe Bailly, maybe Lindelof. Some United fans have said, maybe we need to get rid of Juan Mata. I think we'll keep Juan Mata at the football club for next season. So big decisions do need to be made. Obviously, anyway, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. A hell of a lot of players have left since he came in. We've just recently loaned Tahith Chong out to Werder Bremen. I think he's joined them on a 10-month loan. We had to loan Chong out anyway so he could get regular first-team football. I think we're going to loan a few of the other young players out. Probably loan James Garner out, loan Dylan Levitt out. James Garner, Dylan Levitt. Maybe a few other young players as well. There's some other young players that have just recently got promoted into the senior squad. Obviously, that was Ethan Laird. He's another option at right back. We also recently promoted Ethan Galbraith into the senior team. Daniel James, there's a possibility chance he could be loaned out. But there again, he might not be now because it's looking likely, we're not going to be getting Jadon Sancho on the board. But yeah, I think the only injuries now that Man United have got is Luke Shaw, Phil Jones and Alex Tuanzebe, and they are all going to be back for next season. But aspects of our game have got to improve. We've got to try and keep the ball better. We've got to be slightly more clinical in front of goal. We defensively also need to improve in that. But Solskjaer's learned quite a lot at Man United. He knows now his best 11. He also knows his best formation. But I said even if he hadn't have exceeded any expectations this season, Solskjaer, I would have still given him another season at the football club, because obviously it's been his first full season at the club, and it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while. And Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes. He enjoyed 8 or 9 months at the club. Louis van Gaal, he enjoyed 2 years at the club, won the FA Cup under him. And Jose Mourinho, he got sacked after he enjoyed 2.5 years at the club and won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. But in the last 7 years, we haven't only had different managers with different philosophies. We've spent a good £900 million on players, and we've recruited a good 33 players in since Alex Ferguson left. But our expectations next season will be to challenge for the Premier League title, definitely. Because obviously, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, and I want us up there competing with the likes of City and Liverpool, and I'm hopeful that we can win a title under Solskjaer. And if we do, it will be our 21st title. As it stands at the moment, we've won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League. So we are the most successful team in Premier League history at the moment. And in the entirety of our history so far, we have won 45 trophies. Obviously, the vast majority of our success came under Ferguson, because we won 38 trophies under Alex Ferguson. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.